Hi everyone, how you doing? It's your girl Siobhan, and I don't come on live enough, but I said this year I'm going to try to come on live a little bit more and really talk to people and share what's going on in my life. So come on in and hang out with me for a few minutes. I have some exciting news that I want to share, so come on in. And listen, when you're trying to protect your eyes and you have blue put into your eyeglasses, but then you're trying to get by the ring light, it won't let you be great. Look, I got blue all in my eyes. Oh gosh. Hi, Joe. Hi, the Blind Bomb Chef. Welcome. Hi. Let's send a wave back. Okay. Oh, I know who the Blonde Bomb Chef is. I know who that is. All right. Okay. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you today?
I'm awesome. It's February, the first day, the month of love, Black history.
Come on.
Where the history reside. We ready.
And let me tell you, you are glowing over there. Totally
Thank
on
you.
glow.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
I am on Instagram today, and I'll be on Instagram every Monday and Wednesday during the month of February, during Black History Month, to talk about something that's coming up with me. I am releasing a children's book, and it's entitled Fearless. And I have reached out to some women who I believe who have shown fearless attributes to me. And so I want to reach out to them and talk to them about how they were able to be fearless and how fear impacted them and how they were able to overcome it to reach their goals. And so today is day one on the first day. And listen, this is so appropriate because our ancestors, you know, the people that we came from, they had to be fearless in their pursuits of their goals and their safety and trying to take care of their family. So this is right in line with that. So, okay, Tiffany. Hi, T-Rock. Hi, T-Rock. How you doing?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Melissa. Okay, so y'all, so the book is called Fearless, and it's coming out this month. And again, we just want to talk about the importance of being fearless in the pursuit of our goals. And so I said this before you guys were coming in, that new classes, and they put this blue tint in your glasses to help to prevent any further eye issues. And then you have the ring light. And so you're just trying to be great, but the ring light will not let you be great. But it's okay. So Tiffany and I are going to talk about this. So Tiffany, tell me a time when you felt express a time when you felt fear and why. So can you share with us, when was the time that you felt afraid and how did you deal with that?
Well, fear is something. I'm a very anxious person since little. I've had fear in different things. However, when I think of fear, I think 2014.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was at home. I had just purchased a house. Mm-hmm. I was where I wanted to be in my career, but I wasn't happy. You know, I was in an abusive relationship, and I said, hey, something has to give. And in that, you know that, hey, I need to get out of this, but you're fearful of the unknown. You know, you say, hey, I have this. I'm where I'm, you know, where I am, where I want to be in my career, where I think I want to be personally, but you have someone that you're dealing with and you're fearful, and you know that they are stunting your growth, right? Wow. And you know this is not what God means when he says love. Right. So it's a situation where my favorite prayer is the prayer of Jabez, and I said, okay, 2014, this is the year. It's time to get out of this situation. I prayed that prayer every day. And one day I said, you know what? Instead of going to work, I'm going to go seek help. You know, I went down to, to the courthouse. They referred me. I ended up, y'all, being in a homeless shelter, something you say, hey, I have a house. I'm not homeless, not homeless shelter, domestic violence shelter. And from there, they helped me to navigate through that. And it was very fearful to say, hey, I'm going to leave everything that I know. I'm going to leave my family, but I need to start over.
Right.
And so for me, that was the scariest thing, personally and professionally, when you think about it, because it's like you're leaving a job, you're, you finished grad school, you're where you want to be, and you have to start over.
Right.
And so it was very scary, but I said, you know what? I'm bold, I'm brazen, I'm wonderfully made. This is something that I have to do. So while it was scary, I had to push through, and really make it happen.
Let me tell you, and I think that is so vital. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of women especially, deal with that, being in situations that may be scary or fearful and feeling like they have to make a decision to step out, to be bold, to be courageous, to not let fear hold them back and keep them in something that may not be that may not be the healthiest thing. So for me, a time when I felt most afraid, and mine, and thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you so much for being so transparent. So mine is, I have always been like afraid of heights and afraid of, tall, bigger things and tall things. And so I had a situation where we literally had to get into this thing with this blue light. Okay. We had to slide down something. Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining. Hi. To come down something that was tall into a lower environment. And that was fearful for me. And sometimes you can be at a place where you're like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Oh, I want to go. Oh, I don't want to go. And I think that so many of us feel like that. Like we want to take bigger steps. We want to do greater things. But sometimes fear can hold us back from pursuing some greater things, or even going on an adventure or doing something that's outside of our normal, outside of our comfort zone. Okay, so here's our next question. So you talked a little bit about this, about how has being fearful or that particular situation impacted your most important decisions and why, or has being fearful impacted your life decisions. So can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Fear has impacted me. And to be honest, I feel that I could be a lot further had I not succumbed to fear at times.
Okay.
And I'm talking more professionally then. It's times when I didn't go for that job, didn't pursue certain things because, believe it or not, I am outgoing and I talk a lot now. But when I was little, I was super shy. I can remember being in elementary school whispering or talking to my dad, and he would be like, speak up, say it loud and proud. And so it really sometimes really can be, crippling, and it has affected, me from pursuing a lot of goals. But something I had to say, strangely enough, right? I saw this special on Beyonc. Okay, this is going to sound crazy.
And she is queen fearless, okay?
She is really fearless, right? We think of her and we think, okay, wow, she's one of the, most famous people in the world. She has it all, triple threat. But when you see her in interviews, it's like she's whispering. She's so, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So soft-spoken. But what did she tell us? She's like, hey, when it's time to perform, she's nervous right until she goes out there, and then Sasha Fierce.
And she turns up.
Right?
She turns up.
Hold on. I don't know if I want to be Sasha Fierce, but I'm going to be Tip Fierce. And sometimes you have to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? And realize that you have to do it. For example, I knew for a long time I wanted to go to law school. You can't be shy. You have to be able to speak and be able to go in a courtroom or speak on behalf of things that you want to do. And so I said, okay, Tiff, you have to find a way to overcome this. So even to this day, I'm still nervous right until that time, but I'm like, okay, what would we gonna do? Okay, turn it on, turn it up, and let's get it going.
And we would go all the way in.
Yeah, and just really go all the way and know that we can do it, because I'm like, if you think somebody and Beyonce, not that she's the end all be all. Right. I read biographies, I look at documentaries. Everyone gets nervous.
Yes.
And if everyone didn't move past that fear, but we have the great leaders. Think about it. We look at Kamala. We look at President.
We look at
had they not taken the leap.
Absolutely.
Would we have these great leaders? And I'm sure they were fearful. They're going to tear you down. They're going to tear your family down. But you really just have to take that step.
And just do it.
And go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm revealing a secret that I don't think I've ever told you, but I don't think I've even ever told like my sisters. But the last year of pharmacy school at Xavier, I wanted to apply to be Miss College of Pharmacy. I was so afraid, and I did pursue it. I might have told 2 other classmates. but I didn't pursue it. I knew someone else who was running. And so I was like, man, she's more popular. You know, she'll probably
Yeah.
win. And she ended up winning. And so, and I'm so glad she won. Congratulations, ma'am. I'm so glad you won. But I was so fearful. And I think more of like not knowing what people would say, or if people would feel like, who are you to be Miss College of Pharmacy, you know, more on that line. And so I think that fear has definitely kept me back from doing things that I wanted to do in my life, or that I thought I would be great at. And so the reason why I wrote this book is because I think that if we start young and encourage young girls to be fearless and to try anyway, and to do their best and to seek to do an opportunity, there's nothing that they can't do. Even if you don't get that position, even if you don't win that particular contest, the goal is that you try. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's vital, is that you make the attempt to do something that you really want to do, and you never know, it might actually work out. You might be whatever it is that you want to be. And so that's part of the reason why, you know, I really feel like we need to have this type of literature available to our young girls. I think there's not enough material out there, especially for women of color, for people of color that look like us, to say, hey, be bold, go after your dreams, do what you want to do. You know, there's nothing stopping you. The sky is the limit. You know, all things are possible. And so that is the message that I'm trying to communicate through Fearless. So I'm so excited. Okay. So let me see. Here's another question. Is there another opportunity? Now, I know you told me about going to law school, and fear has you know, played a part in that. But is there any other opportunity that you did not take because of fear, and how would you have handled it differently?
Definitely. For a while, I have really wanted to step out into the entrepreneurial world and kind of open a boutique, right? Even just an online boutique. I'm like, hey, you know, I shop, at least maybe, you know, I can buy my own stuff and save some money. It was just thinking, what would people think? Are people going to support? Are people going to do this? And fear really crippled me. And for a while, it was like, well, hey, everyone else has a boutique. Everyone else is doing this. So is there room for me? You know what I'm saying? In this lane, in this avenue. And so, you know, sometimes it's just even in particular, you know, little small hobbies or different things. It's like we lose confidence and we're fearful. And I think a lot of times where fear lies is just really what people are going to say. And so that's something I think over the last few years that I have really worked on, and say, well, hey, I'm great. You know, if they love me, you know what I'm saying? They're going to support me. And even if they don't, it's other people, you know what I'm saying, who will. And know that, you know, I have talents. And if I step into that, it's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's really going to work out. So,
Tiffany, I agree with that 100%. And I think a lot of that has to do with us also believing in ourselves. And saying that even if it's something new that I've never done before, that I don't necessarily have experience in, if this is something God has placed in my heart, it's worth it for me to attempt, to try, to develop the skill, to develop the talent, to reach out to people, you know, to at least try. And I know for me, fear has kept me from trying different things. And so I'm like, hey, if you try something and it doesn't work, okay, at least you tried it and you know it didn't work. And then you can move on to something that will. But I think sometimes we can hold ourselves back if we don't at least try, you know what I'm saying, to do the things that we're considered afraid to do. Okay, so
that's right.
So what is the message that you would tell yourself, your younger self, about fear? If you can go back to the 8-year-old Tiffany or to the 10-year-old Tiffany, what would you tell her about overcoming fear?
I would say fear is something that everyone has, but something that's bigger than fear is love. And if you love yourself, you can really, you know, do anything. If you love yourself, that confidence is rolled into love. You know what I'm saying? And if you have that confidence and you also have that faith, God is with you. Even when you're up there scared, talking to a room of 1,000 people, God is right beside yourself. And you have to believe in you. If they can do it, you can do it too. What's the thing they used to say? If you can believe it, you can achieve it. And so the whole thing is, hold on, sis. You know what I'm saying? You have it going on and you need to walk in that. Because we really just think, a lot of times we see the greatness in others, right? But sometimes you have to, if you're surrounding yourself around people that's great and that are genuine, You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, surround yourself around the right people, because through them you will learn. Through them you will be encouraged. You're side by side people who love you and who are encouraging you and are going to help push you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Like Siobhan, this is amazing. You know, when I think about it, we had each other. We all, you know, we're lucky to have a village that always believed and
when we
encouraged
started.
us. But I have a lot of peers who things or professions, even, you know, for example, you being a pharmacist, some people thought, hey, that's above me. Not that they didn't have the talent, not that they couldn't do it, but they're like, hey, no one in my family has ever done this. So is this something that I can do? You know, so it's really just about, if I were to say, just implanting like you're doing, affirmations. Like now, if you see behind here,
I see you.
You're going to get this good message every day. Sometimes I'm not feeling it, but I'm like, okay, time out. You need to read and be, you know, positive. So fear's going to be there. Everybody is fearful, but love is stronger. So love will always overcome.
I love that.
So,
Tiffany, that is so true. And I think a message for me is, how have I overcome it? If I feel fear, I'm still going to step out and do it anyway.
Yes.
You know,
turn that Sasha Fierce on.
Yes. So turn it on, even when you feel afraid. So I can feel like, man, this is way over my head. This is something that, like, way outside of my comfort zone. I'm still going to try. I'm still going to attempt anyway and push myself forward. And I agree with you 100% that our company definitely matters, and the people that we're surrounding ourselves with, because you want people around who are going to motivate you, who are going to say, go for it, do it, I believe in you, I see that in you. You know, as you were stating earlier, sometimes people can see greatness in us that we don't necessarily see in ourselves, and they can definitely speak to what we want to be in the future and what we're growing in, and how we're growing and how we're developing. So one last question. Okay. One last question about fear. What do you think is the greatest factor in fear? In your opinion, what do you think is the greatest fear factor? And what steps can you take to lower that factor in your life?
I think the greatest factor in fear is the unknown, right? It's the not knowing exactly what it is. Even if we're walking down the street and we're fearful, we don't know what that scary person behind us is going to do. And I think the steps to doing that is really to, you know, to just have faith and believe in yourself, that no matter what situation you're in, sure, we don't know what's going to happen when we step to the left or we step to the right, and we don't know if it's going to be something that's going to catapult us, you know, forward, but it's just really just taking the steps, breathing, and praying and knowing that, hey, I can do this and I can see myself through this. No matter how scary the situation, know that you've been through other scary stuff before, right? And so you have to retrace those steps sometimes and say, hey, whatever I did then at one time, I didn't, you know, think about things in your life that you saw. I never thought I would overcome this. Like now, I never thought I would be at the place. You know, I've been in Houston almost 7 years. I can remember that place of fear, and never did I think I was going to be at a place happy and thriving and growing. I'm about to cry. You know, I'm teary tip. But I'm saying it's like, you know, it's really just knowing that fear doesn't last always. And again, you know, fear is something everybody has. It's a small emotion. God has millions and millions of emotions. It's one that we all have. It's necessary because sometimes we need it to check us and to help motivate us to do better. But again, scratch that fear factor out and know that no matter where we are right now, we're going to get past this fear.
Absolutely. I think that what you said was so vital. You said that you have to use fear as a motivator. I love that. I think that oftentimes I, in the past, have used fear as something to halt me, to stop me. But actually, fear is a motivator. Fear, doing it afraid, being afraid and still pushing forward, I think is a huge benefit to you taking fear and pivoting it, as we did in 2020, and turning it and using that fear to help you to realize a talent that you didn't realize you had, to actualize a greater part of yourself, to walk in who God has called you to be. And I think that that's really for me, the factor is remembering that even though I'm afraid, God is with me. So even no matter what, God is with me. And so I can do things that can be considered scary or fearful. And we think about, like, moving away from our family. You know, we are all from the South. So when you went to, I think you went to Michigan to go to law school, that is something that can be fearful because you're moving away from everything you've known. You know, you're stepping out and doing something new that no one in our family necessarily had done before. You know, so it takes, so you can use that fear to motivate you to pursue your goals and to do everything that you want to do and surprise yourself, right? In the process, sometimes you might surprise yourself of what you're able to accomplish through this. And so that is really the whole purpose of me attempting to pen a book, is to motivate young girls, children of color who look like us, to let them know that they can do anything that they want to do, that do not let fear stop you, but instead use it as a source of motivation to pursue anything and everything that God has placed in your heart to do.
Okay.
You know,
so what were you fearful of when you started on the book journey?
Tiff, I'm not a writer. I'm like, I don't have any professional writing experience. This publishing a book is a very new process. It's something that, like I said, I don't have experience. This is my first time. And God is so good. He's placed people in my life who've been able to help me and to walk me through the process. But also, I think there's the fear of, hey, who's going to listen to me? You know, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a children's counselor. I don't have that experience. But it's something that I really believe is needed in the market. It's something I feel on my heart. If one person can be encouraged by reading it, you know, if one person can experience less fear, if there's one more bolder fourth grader, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have accomplished my goal, you know? And so I think that I have to push beyond what I feel, the fear of feeling like people won't accept it, or they won't understand, or they may question, why am I doing something when I don't have the experience? It's something that I feel that it's needed. And it's something, actually, Tiffany, that I wish I had. It's something I wish I had when I was coming up, and I was afraid of the bully in the back of the bus that was talking about me, or wanting to run for the wanting to be the editor of the yearbook, you know, things like that
stuff.
Right. And staying in that place. And so then you become a woman, and you're now in college, and you're now, you know, from a relational context, from a professional context, I may have been afraid to take certain opportunities professionally and personally because I let fear stop me. And so, you know, in the Bible, God talks about fear 365 times. So that's an indicator for us to know that fear is something he wants us to feel, but not let it stop us.
Yeah.
To use his word to overcome the fear that we may feel in our lives. So, yeah, you know, again, I just want to encourage somebody through the book, you know, that someone may see it and be like, yes, I can be bold. I'm courageous. I can do all things. And I think too that it doesn't have to be particularly just for children. I think sometimes grown women feel fearful in leaving an unhealthy relationship, talking to a family member that may have disrespected them, you know, starting out on a new career, you know, any of those things can bring out fear in us. And I think that the book can even encourage a grown woman, you know, like, hey, I can change, I can turn, I can make a new choice, I can start my life over. You know, someone who may have lost a loved one, or lost a marriage, or lost a relationship, you can start over. You don't have to let fear keep you in the place where you are. You can actually grow from that, you know?
So I'm excited because, you know, when you think about it, affirmations is something that our parents always say, oh, you know, you guys are beautiful. You can do it. You know, we're proud of you. You can do this. But the act of actually saying things repetitively every day, and, you know, you really do internalize those things. And so while affirmations have always been around, the fact that, you know, yourself through your book are really encouraging that is good, because it really is power, you know, in affirmation. It really helps us to, you know, get and do things that we need to do. I am so excited.
I am too.
So how can we get one? That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I'm doing that thing afraid. I'm gonna release it no matter what. The book is coming out in the middle of February. It'll be available on my website, ShavonLaVaughn.com, as well as on Amazon. but it's 21 affirmations. And so the goal is by after those 21 days, you will be, or your daughter will be, or your niece will be, or your cousin will be a more fearless, bold woman. And Tiffany, I agree 100% about the importance of affirmations and speaking life over ourselves. You know, there's so much power in our tongue and in what we say. And so we have to speak life as often as we can, and speak the word, and speak support and boldness and courage in our young girls. Kamala was the first, but she won't be the last.
That's,
you know, to know that Cicely Tyson was one of the first, but she won't be the last. You know, to remind them of so many of the women who have come before us have done wonderful things, and I'm sure they felt fear, but they decided to move forward anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, so I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful you have. Listen, the word I'm taking away from this is that fear is a motivator. That's what I'm taking from here. Use fear, pivot that thing, turn it around, and use it to motivate me to overcome my fear.
Awesome.
Thank you, cousin. I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
and I look forward to all of these chats.
Yes.
And again, you are being a motivator. You know, again, like I said, it's a lot of things that I've wanted to pursue. And the fact that you know, have really taken the time to pursue this, take the necessary steps to publish. You're a whole author out here, girl.
Girl, I am excited. An author out here in
the street.
COVID street.
So yes, hashtag, we're getting this book. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hashtag no more fear. Okay,
hashtag fearless.
Hashtags. So I'm so excited.
Hashtag fearless. And we're going to impact a future generation of girls to be fearless in all of their pursuits and to go forth. Chelsea said she loved your.
Hey,
Chelsea, we run with motivational people. This is what we do.
That's what I'm saying. Now let me tell you, I'm a good hype woman. And what I'm saying, no, I'm one of those people. I believe I'm gonna help you execute. But in the same sense, I gotta find my talent and execute too. But really, we come from, you know, tons of fearless people
and support.
You know what I'm saying? And so
support.
This is natural, and we come from a lot of support.
Yes.
And so again, super excited and just looking forward to awesome things. 2021.
Let's go.
You know, we taking over.
We taking over. So every Monday and Wednesday during Black History Month, we'll be featuring another fearless woman talking about these same issues, about how we can overcome fear, sharing nuggets, sharing stories to support each other as we go on our journey to use fear as a motivator to accomplish our goals. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining me today. Love you. Have a blessed day.
Bye, everyone. Y'all have an awesome day.
All right, y'all. See you later. Thanks. How can I save this? How do I save this? Let me see something before I go off. Hold on. Bye. Bye, Tira. Bye, Miss Joanne. Bye, JoJo. How do I save this? She's trying to get it. But I'm trying to see, how do I Hi.
You're back.
I'm here.
You're still there.
I'm still here. Thank you so much for joining.
You see me?
Can you hear me?
Do you see? You see me?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty then. Don't see my clothes. I'm cleaning up. I look like a hobo, but baby, you was off the hook.
Thank
you. And Till. Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, I can't wait to see you on the next one. We're gonna be doing Wednesday.
Y'all making me really feel mine.
That's so good. I'm so happy to hear that. So I will see you on Wednesday.
Okay, that's fine, Mama.
Thank you for joining.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know how to cut it out.